Hi and welcome back to Mindfulness with Alison. So today I want to talk about one of the easiest places to start from if we're going to bring mindfulness into our everyday life, and it's actually one of the things that will have the biggest impact in your life. So listen, very often when people think, oh, if I want to bring mindfulness into my life, I have to allocate loads of time to it and I already have no time, and this is not what we want to do. So we don't want to create stress on top of an already stressful life. So a really good place to start is in and around our eating habits. So what is mindful eating? What are the benefits of mindful eating? I'm going to be talking you through all of this in this video. So most of us are in what we call our fight and flight, which is our stress mode of our body, all the time without even realizing it. I mean, modern life just lends us to being more stressed. So one of the things we do need to become very conscious of is understanding that when we're in fight or flight, or when we're stressed, our body's digestive system shuts down. We produce less hydrochloric acid, which we need in our stomach to break down our proteins and carbs and fats into the vitamins and minerals that we need to absorb. So we're not what we eat, we are what we absorb. So if we don't consciously bring ourselves out of the stressed state of the fight or flight into what I like to call rest and digest, well then we're not going to be breaking down our food properly and absorbing the adequate nutrients that we need. So that's the first thing. But what a lot of us do is we don't really spend time with our food. And I know that sounds a little bit bonkers, but we're so busy that food sometimes can become almost like a hindrance. It's like something you have to do, You're running out in the morning and you're like, oh, I have to have breakfast. Or you're in work and you're like, I don't really want to leave my desk because I have so much to do. If you're a busy mom, you can go all day. I remember when James was a baby, you can literally go all day and completely forget about eating or drinking. So becoming more mindful of how you're living, you can start to notice A, when you're skipping meals, B, trying not to eat on the run, which is never great. Now, it's not possible to do this all the time, but if we can kind of bring ourselves into doing this the majority of the time, at least have 1 or 2 meals a day where you're just sitting with absolutely no distractions. So no phone, so not eating and kind of scrolling through your phone or sitting on your computer because you're not present in your body. So one of the things that you can do to put yourself in that rest or digest mode is simply take 3 deep breaths. So let's see how long it takes. Let's take 3 deep breaths together. And 2. And 3. Now, if you did those 3 deep breaths with me, I already feel a little bit more grounded and settled. And what it does to our body is it helps to reduce stress, it calms our central nervous system, and prepares us to get ready for meal times. So it's really important that we respect where our food comes from and we start to look at food as our life force and our life source. So we are what we eat. I've never heard somebody saying, I really regret eating healthy today. I have never heard someone saying that. What I have heard someone saying is, I really regret eating all the crap I ate today, when I was stressed. So bringing mindfulness into your routine every day helps you to connect with your food. So let's bring it back to what we're trying to do with mindfulness again. And I'm going to keep bringing it back to a lot of the same points. So you're going to think in the videos, she said that in the other video, because we need to be reminded all the time. We're really disconnected from ourselves, okay? Which means then we're disconnected from each other, which means then we're disconnected from the world and Mother Nature. So what does this mean for us with our food? So we're disconnected from our food, where our food comes from, how our food is prepared. Most of us don't cook. We're really busy, we grab and go, and there's something about cooking, even 1 meal a day, and connecting with your food and being present with your food and kind of almost infusing love into your meals. That also has a beautiful energetic effect of how that food is ingested into our body and how then we can show up. When I was struggling really, really badly with depression and anxiety, of course I didn't really care much about the world or myself, and so what I did was reach for really crappy food all the time. But what it was is a cycle of the bad food made me feel worse. And what I noticed after I was recovering from postnatal depression is the first thing I started to take out was sugar, dramatically reducing sugar. And I noticed the fog beginning to lift, and I thought, oh, there's something in this. I started to have loads more fresh ingredients. I went to college to study nutrition, and then I went on to become a raw foods master. And now I juice celery juice every morning. I have raw juices every day and smoothies. Now, I do not use juices or smoothies to replace meals. And this is really, really, really important, okay? I use it as an additional source of nutrients because most of us are calorie laden but nutrient poor, okay? So we're eating too much of the wrong food and we don't have enough nutrients. So we need many, many, many more nutrients in our diet. So when I feel low or I feel myself having one of those days where my moods is not great, I'll make a smoothie and I'll add loads of different things into it like maca and bananas and, you know, make my own nut milks just to try and get all those good nutrients into me. And I find when I eat well, I feel better. You know, we are what we eat, and that goes in so many different ways. And, you know, good food, good mood. You know, I actually have it on a top upstairs. I should have worn it for this video. But it's really important that we do. Like, the first place to start from is what you're eating and how you're eating. But we're told so much about what we should be eating, but not how we should be eating. And if you are at home and you're with your family, one of the best things you can do for your relationship with your family is to take away the phones and all distractions at meal times and eat together. And this is one of the things that I remember from my childhood. And I always remember the conversations that we had at dinner, and they're some of the best memories. And I always try and remind myself in the evening with James that, you know, our children crave our presence, not our presents that we buy them, our presence. And we can easily give that over meal times by just simply moving the phone and putting it away. So eat slower and breathe. So chewing your food is really, really important. How many of us just chew our food in our mouth and then it goes into our body? And then just check in with yourself. How many people say, oh, I have a really bad pain in my stomach, I ate that too fast? Our body is always talking to us. Always. But are we listening? So if you eat and you immediately suffer from cramps in your stomach or indigestion, that is your body trying to tell you, I don't like what you're doing here. I need you to slow down. I need you to listen to me. That's where mindfulness comes in. Simply connecting with our breath. Eat slower. Say thank you. I remember as a kid we used to say grace before meals, and it is really important that we say thank you. And through the work that I'm doing, you become more aware of the environment, the earth and the world we live in, and thinking about where our food comes from, sustainability, where it's sourced. So I've switched to shopping at my local organic farmers market, and what this has done is cut down on the plastic, because I go and I package everything myself and just put it in my trolley. There's no need for like 20,000 plastic bags. And I know that it's coming straight from the local farmer to my house. So there's not like so many middlemen along the way. So I'm supporting local. I'm supporting people who grow their own, helping to support local businesses. So there's always a chain of energy that you are a part of. And becoming aware of that is really important. And for most of us, it's not possible to be 100%, you know, on top of this all the time. But those small changes, like I've said in other videos, are really, really important. So saying thank you is really, really important at meal times. And just taking a few moments to say thank you for our meal. Thank you for this time together. Thank you for the food. Thank you for the people who created it. It takes such a small space of time to do these things. And the biggest thing for me, I suppose, having come from the modelling industry for 20 years, is my relationship with food was always very emotional. So I always try to say to people, ask yourself, why are you eating this? So very often I was eating my emotions. I never ever could sit with my emotions or be with my emotions. Well, I could never really sit with myself at all, actually, for most of my time during my career. So what I did was avoid my emotions through alcohol addictions and food. And what I found I was doing was, if I was feeling low, And even if I had a swimwear shoot, what I would do is go and order a pizza. And I know it sounds really bizarre, but it's almost like a self-sabotage cycle that if I was feeling crappy, I would go order a pizza and then I'd feel even worse about myself. Setting up this cycle of self-hatred. You know, and I used to have acne when I was in my 20s as a model. And I know this was caused from, now I know, at the time I didn't make all those connections. But now I know it was caused from the food that I was choosing to eat. But I didn't know how to cope. I didn't know how to cope with my emotions. I didn't know how to feel my emotions. So I ate them. I just ate them instead. I ate them and I drank them. So always ask yourself, why am I reaching for this food? Like, do I really want this bar of chocolate to enjoy it? And listen, I love my chocolate. No, I really love my chocolate. So, but now I have my chocolate and I don't feel guilty about it. So there's no point in eating and feeling bad about it afterwards. Like, life is meant to be lived. So a little bit of what you love, there's nothing wrong with. But if you find that you're self-soothing through food, well, maybe bringing a little bit of mindful awareness around meal times and around your habits will help. So let's go over my 4 top tips. So eat slower and breathe, okay? Say thank you, no distractions, and don't feel guilty. And you should be good. Thank you.